one and all, to dreadful Frights at the Backlot, Perth, presented by Perth horror fans. I'm your host, Suxy the Salacious Spectre. We begin tonight by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging leaders. Tonight's feature presentation is Private Parts. This 1972 American psychological thriller, dark comedy, mystery horror, not to be confused with the 1997 film of the same name, was originally titled Blood Relations. However, James Aubrey, the studio head of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, very quickly ordered the title to be changed. But the new title of Private Parts was still very problematic for the marketing department, as some newspapers at the time would not print it. So the film ended up being advertised with titles such as Too Shocking to Print, with readers being asked to call theatres showing the film to find out what the title was, while in Chicago it was simply printed as Private Arts. The screenplay was written by Philip Kearney and Les Rendelstein, and was based upon the real-life people they had met in Los Angeles during the 1960s. And while Andrew Davis was originally selected to direct the film, producer Gene Corman convinced MGM to allow Paul Bartel to take the reins, with Davis staying on as the cinematographer. For those with a keen eye, you may recognize Bartel in his uncredited bit part as a drunken derelict. The film stars Ayn Ruiman, who was 25 years old at the time when she played 16-year-old Cheryl, John Ventantonio, as George, alongside Lucille Benson as Aunt Martha, whose role was originally intended for Mary Astor. The movie itself is largely shot in the King Edward Hotel, which has appeared in many films over the years, and still stands today near Skid Row in Los Angeles. This 1906 era building that has been in continuous operation since the 1930s was repurposed in 2018 for use as housing for the homeless and extremely low-income individuals. When Private Parts was test screened by its first real audience, the results was so terrible that MGM decided to release it under their Premiere Productions subsidiary alongside 2 standard horror films before being shelved. But it still remained copyrighted by MGM. And despite their clear lack of interest in promoting it, they still passed up the opportunity to sell it to Roger Corman's New World Pictures when they expressed interest in purchasing it. And although it gained an X rating in the UK, and many critics praising the filmmakers for their cutting-edge subject matter regarding sexual awakening and identity, the film went on to be a box office bomb. And now, Private Parts.